Hello everybody, and welcome to this video looking at eCrossminton. Now I admit, going into this video I had absolutely no idea what a Crossminton was. I'd never even heard of the sport, had no idea what it was, did not know it existed, and I figured when I saw this pop up on the PlayStation Store that this would be an opportunity for me to learn about something new, a new sport that I hadn't heard of before. I'm a big fan of niche sports in general, and I play pretty much all of the ones that end up being turned into video games. I've played even the worst of them, the handball games, the volleyball game that came out not too long ago, all of that kind of stuff. I play them all, and I use them as a way to get a feel for what it is about a sport that people enjoy. So I always hope that the games do a good job of reflecting the sport, not just copying the rules and, you know, getting that kind of basic stuff right, but also giving people a sense of what it is about the sport that is enjoyable. What kind of physicality is it? What kind of energy is it? What kind of drama is created through the way that the sport's played? So I certainly wasn't expecting something of the quality of FIFA. Of course not. It was never going to be up to that standard. But I figured as long as it does a decent job of introducing me to the sport, then I'd be quite happy with it. So because I hadn't heard about the sport as well, I also decided I should probably hit up YouTube and see what the real sport looks like, what it looks like when the pros play it, and then compare it, I guess, to the way the video game does the recreation of the sport. So I'm about to jump into a video. You're about to see some video of the real Crossminton in action. Also, I believe it's also called Speedminton, as far as I can tell. There's no difference between the two, it's just two different names of the same sport. But yeah, you'll see some action of that in motion. I stole it off YouTube, to be honest. I'll put a link to the video in the description of this video, so you can check it out for yourself if you're interested in seeing the whole video and starting to learn more about this sport after watching this video, because there is quite a few videos out there for Crossminton. It seems to be a growing sport. So let's jump in to show you what Crossminton actually looks like.
It's Patrick Bois on court number 8. Ulrich Burka against Piotr Borosiec on court number 9.
So I guess, as you can see from that video, and again it wasn't mine, if you do want to see the whole video and learn more about it, I do recommend you check out the link that I'll put in the bottom of this video in the description. But so as you can see from it, the thing that seems to be quite appealing about a Crossminton is the fact that it's such an uncomplicated sport. In fact, you could probably play it anywhere. All you need is a bit of masking tape to mark out the box that you're playing within. Other than that, you could pretty much do it anywhere. You could play the game on the beach, you could play it on the grass, you could play it anywhere you are, really. You'd be able to, as long as you had a couple of rackets and the shuttlecock thing, as long as you had that stuff, you'd be able to play this. There's no need for nets, there's no need for anything kind of complicated like that. So it's a very easy sport, I guess, to get into, a very accessible sport. And it plays a bit like a mix of badminton and table tennis or tennis or those kinds of sports. So it's that kind of instantly familiar sport as well, where you've got a basic idea of how to play just by picking up the racket. And the rules are very uncomplicated too. All you need to do is make sure that your shuttlecock thing, I don't know exactly what it's called, but the ball, the shuttlecock, as long as it lands in the box, your opponent's box, you get a point. If it lands outside, your opponent gets a point. So there's obviously a lot of skill involved because you need to be able to direct it and you need to be able to get it past your opponent so it lands and you get the point. But it's not a sport that is particularly complicated to learn, and it's not a sport that is prohibitively expensive. You don't need all this equipment and all that kind of stuff. So how does eCrossminton do at recreating that? It does a pretty good job, I've got to say. Unlike a lot of other kind of niche sports titles, there's no bugs in this. I haven't noticed any bugs yet. It's not the most glamorous game by any means, and it's certainly not the highest production values out there amongst the video games, even within the kind of niche sports kind of category. But there's no bugs. It actually plays very cleanly, very smoothly, and what you expect to happen happens while you're playing, which is really impressive. The game does a great job of recreating the basic rules of it and the basic techniques of it as well. The whole idea of being skillful enough to aim the shuttlecock or whatever it's called to make sure it lands in the box without going outside, that is a learning curve, and against the higher level AI opponents it's not easy to do. There is 4 different types of shots you've got access to. You've got lobs, you've got drop shots, you've got power shots, which are obviously less accurate and all that kind of stuff. So there are all the strategic choices that real players have as well. So that's really impressive. I have played sports games, niche sports games, especially that volleyball one from a couple of months ago, where the job of actually recreating the sport makes it feel like it's not the sport anymore. The handball one, a couple of handball titles were much the same. They don't feel like you're actually playing the sport. With this one, what you're playing feels like what I imagine it would be like to play based on the video that I'd seen. And that's really all you need from a niche sports title. You don't need the great production values because the people who are fans of this sport know that they're playing a niche sport and they're not expecting FIFA quality. They're not expecting NBA 2K quality. They're not expecting this to be up there with what EA and 2K Games and Sony produced with their baseball title and all that. They're not expecting that. All they want is a simple but elegant sports game that does their sport justice. This one does that. So I'm actually really impressed with this. For all its kind of cheap production values, I'm genuinely impressed with what they've done to bring eCrossminton or Crossminton to video games, because that's not something I would have ever expected going in. I just didn't realise that there was this kind of audience for that kind of sport. So thanks very much for watching this video. I hope it's been interesting. I hope you might have discovered a new sport a bit like I have. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you at the next video.